Welcome everyone to Vapors Trigamar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We are going to be continuing our way down Doom Tower. Into... I'd want to say... Skill Lockout Hell? I have been leveling my... my Coffin Smasher. Hopefully he can do some crazy bonker stuff. Hopefully. Because I'm going to need him to do bonker stuff, because if I want to get to the bottom of the tower, I'm going to need him to do as much as I can. I will continue to level him to 60, because the thing is, I need Coffin Smasher to do his job. That's the reality of the matter. We'll do some Dragon 20 for the tourney. It's just hard when a whole bunch of stuff is going on, including champ training. Especially because I have a specific use for champ training because of, Okay, here we're gonna want the nukers in here. The Spirit Affinity ones. Because there's a good amount of Spirit Affinity champs in here. Spirit Affinity champs are generally going to respond better to Spirit Affinity champ, like other Spirit Affinity champs or Magic Affinity, not they're not going to respond well to Force Affinity. Anyone? Yeah, we're just going to continue the Spirit nukers. Because I'm not... Okay, first rule of thumb here. We're not going to buff on a Mashald floor. Because I am not interested in Mashald doing... I messed up. This could be bad. This could be the end. We're going to want to get the decreased defense in. We're going to want to... Well, we're screwed. We're so bloody screwed. We are actually screwed. I screwed myself. Neat. This is not the ideal scenario. As you can see, generally speaking, when you're facing a Mashald, even with the same affinity, you do not want You do not want the, you don't want, Michelle to get a turn. Because usually, if Michelle gets a turn, whoever he gets a turn on just dies. Generally speaking. It's not like I'm not continually trying to develop a, the other champs. But Cleopteryx and
Did you wash your toothbrush because that fell on the floor?
yeah, Cleopteryx and Outrider are putting in work. As you can see, they're doing some decent damage. Yeah, I'm doing some Doom Tower. It's going reasonably well. Hopefully we'll get to the actual boss in one go on here. That would be preferred. Because this account has been developing for some time. There we go. Is there any... we're just short of the secret room. Affinity-wise, I think we're okay here. There we go. Maybe we're not as okay as I thought. I didn't expect these guys to be there. That complicates things. Because that affinity difference is a problem. Because it makes a big difference on how much damage you deal. That's nuts. Okay, I get that crit damage. There we go. As you can see, Cleopteryx does clear these waves reasonably well. Secret Room 7. What do we got? Epic champs only. We might actually be able to clear this. Yeah, we might actually be able to clear this. And it might not even actually be that hard. Because a lot of my best champs are in fact epics. However, we do have to be a little careful here. Because if I buff myself around Madame Ceres too much, this could get hairy really quick. Alright, now I can buff myself. Now it's not dangerous. See, before, it's dangerous. Because if you do that, I mean, I could have put Ultimate Gallic in there, but he's not built for damage. He's built for burns and accuracy. I mainly built him for Spider. Do I have an Epic Reviver is the question. I think I do, but I don't have him built out. Which I think is a problem. Because I keep forgetting that, Melga, I mean not Melga, Syl is not an epic. A lot of the champs I use are legendaries, even if it doesn't appear at first glance that they are legendaries. Okay. Channel the Bloodline. Get that damage in there. Get a Provoke. Increase attack. Okay, we really need to prioritize the... Alright. There we go. We got the... I cut the Seared Frag. You see? Floor 66. We might be able to get a Void Shard if we can get up there. There seems to be some Magic Affinity champs. So we're going to put a Drex in here as a bit of variety to try to... Okay, yeah, we're going to have to compress these Seafies. We've got Seafy Mania going on here. This is, we like to call bad. Yeah, I think I'm going to go not put Cleopteryx. Let's try this combo. With an Armiger in the mix. Because I am afraid. I'm going to try some stuff. The main problem is I'm worried about revives. Because on this specific floor... We've got revivers for days, and I don't need revivers. I'm saving my block revive for a specific part of the floor. Well, that was really bad. There's a reason I'm doing this. It's not designed for the Ghostborn themselves. It's designed for... I've also learned how to craft anti-rot boluses. So the main issue here we have is trying to deal with these Seafies. Because the Seafies... are very hard to get low. And if one of them... See, the real issue we have here is trying to keep all of the Seafies under control. Because if you don't, the Seafy will get out of whack. And destroy everything. Block revive. I had him here specific because that Seafy, did you see that Seafy? That Seafy could have literally ruined everything for me. You're like, how? Easy. See, the problem is, the more opportunities that you give these Seafies, the worse it becomes for you. You generally want to turn meter compress get them low, remove their block buffs if you can, and then go in for the kill. Do not take any mercy on these Seafies, or you will get exterminated. You want to build with a relatively ruthless build versus these Seafies. You do not want them to get anywhere, because the Seafies will gut you. Okay, so here we're gonna go back to the nuke strategy. I'm gonna go put Drockle in here actually with the Outrider and try this combo out. I don't know if it's 100%, but I do not. The number one thing is I don't want to put affinity negative people versus these. Main thing after that is just to kill the reviver here, the blind seer. Yes, I know it's counterintuitive, but believe me when I say you don't want the blind seers getting extra turns, or the I mean, you will have some issues with your squishy nukers if you have squishy nukers here, which I assume you would if you're using spirit nukers. Unless you're using Magnard, then you can just ignore me. I will be using a special nuke Kale. My main priority here, by the way, is to deal with the blind seer, followed by the astroliths. Keeping that decreased defense. Scream at it. That'll do. I guess we can continue with this combo. I don't know. I have an instinct that we should revert to the Drex, Rosin, Mosmia Mage combo. I will be showcasing this guy soon when I get the right boss. He still needs some more levels, my Coffin Smasher, but he might be able to do the job as is. If not, I'll just keep chucking levels at him until I can. Alright. The main thing with Skull Crown is just to get that unkillable buff out of them, if you can, because that prepares them for death. And then I'm also trying to take out the Bad Alcazars, because the problem with Bad Alcazar is if you leave him alive and let him have fun, he will mess you up, to put it bluntly. Here I'm just going to go for a bog down. I don't often do it, but since there's a bunch of these solaces in here, it would be preferable that the solaces get controlled. Double Hexia. I'm going to go target the these guys, the Scartosises, because they are super annoying to deal with. You do not want these Scartosises to have extra turns, because it'll give yourself a very annoying time. Just trust me when I say, if you have a way of denying the Scartosis the turn, do it. Just do it. If you have a champ that you need to level to do it, like a Deacon or a Lysandra or a High Katoon, any of that, just do it. Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and use it to deny them the turn, because the last thing you need is for the Scartosis to take like 50 hours to beat. You do not want that. You do not want that. Okay, so here I'm just saving my boost for later, because I know, generally speaking, except for my Deacon, most of my team is not in danger from that guy, at least with this setup. They're more in danger if I go for the Spirit setup, which is, like I said, Cleopteryx, Outrider setup. Generally speaking, that's the setup. Trying to get these Rhodoses out of the way, because I rate them extremely dangerous. On the danger scale, I rate them like a 6 out of 10 minimum, going up to an 8 or 9 out of 10, depending on how the Rhodos is geared. You really don't want the Rhodos to... It all depends on how the Rhodos is geared. Because the gearing in this game varies by a lot. Also, do not bring Spirit Champs versus Sifi or Rhodos unless it's Mashal typically, or you have them obscenely well geared, because you need to be able to deal with the buffs that the Sifis pull out. If there's a Sifi and a Rhodos on the same team, you need to have a very specific setup. Here I'm preferring not to buff myself to avoid giving the Madame Cereses too much fuel in case they get a turn. Here, since there's a last one and there's nothing to back her up, I feel more confident doing it. Alright, Nether Spider, Magic Affinity. Okay, so we've got a number of options to deal with this Magic Affinity Nether Spider. So we're going to want Burns for Days. You can use Kale in this setup, but I'm going to try the Burns for Days team. I could put Coffin Smasher in here, actually. But I'd rather first want to try this. Actually, I want to try him. I want to feature him in something, dang it. We'll put a Cleanse in. This boss is highly dangerous. Drexthar is usually the main purpose of him is I want to show what he does. Coffin Smasher, because I don't feel like many people have covered him. And I feel like he needs a spotlight. Um... The reason I go for cleansers, obviously, is because this boss, if you do not have cleansers, you are in seriously bad shape if you do not have cleansers. Why are you in seriously bad shape? Well, let's put this bluntly like this. The reason you're in seriously bad shape goes a little bit like this. So, this boss puts hella poisons on you. First, let's establish that. So, if you don't have a cleanse, you're in for a bad time. So we're going to go for the decrease attack. He does mainly decrease attack and HP burn. Drex's main job is to keep the burn on there 24/7. So that the guy doesn't really breathe. I'm a bit in trouble with those poisons. We can still revive. We gotta keep those cleansers up, though. And you gotta time the poisons, the cleanses perfectly, even if it means sacrificing one weaker member like Coffin Smasher. Generally speaking, the reason you want to do that is because if you don't, you will get owned. The reason you will get owned is the ebb and flow of this is highly important to pay attention to. Particularly, you only want to attack the spiderlings if you are sure you'll wipe them out. If not, don't even bother. Don't even bother, because they have a counterattack put on each of them. Which is, highly annoying to deal with. So revive. See, this is the problem, the inherent problem here. If your other guy isn't tanky, your reviver might die. And then that's where things get sticky. Now, thankfully, my Drexstar is built in such a way that I doubt he's going to die to this. Especially with that cleanse. But if we screwed that up, we'd be in trouble. Just wanna point that out. Now, although he's useful now, I haven't really properly leveled and geared my Coffin Smasher. I just want to show that he's useful there. But again, I haven't truly geared him out. Most of these arena streams are really obnoxious. But again, we're in gold, so you'd expect it, unfortunately. That's just the way gold works. I'm just gonna have to gamble. There's no way around it. I'm gonna have to gamble. Okay, their Kymar is slow. Me likey. Trust me, I like them to be slow. Because if they're not slow, then I'm in for a world of hurt, especially with a team like that has a Kymar in it. We're going to want to one-shot the Kymar. The Kymar generally, followed by... the Ninja, and then the Warwick, and then finally the Imposter, the Cecilia Imposter. Yeah. You don't want to leave that Imposter alive. Oh, I got 5 arena stuff. Good. That's good. We're gonna hatch. What do we got? All food. Literally all food. Like not even like here's the problem. I would treat rares and some uncommons as good. Like I'm the guy who uses this guy as a nuker. All right? I'm not against uncommons. So before you guys saying, "Oh, you're putting your nose up at commons and uncommons," no, I'm not. I'm not like other content creators. I will not put my nose up at that. That's something you guys need to realize. I don't put my nose up at such champs. I don't. I'm the guy who built the second Kale for like. And the Coffin Smasher. But the Coffin Smasher is more important to me right now. Because the Coffin Smasher is going to do some very big jobs for me. Specifically, when I level him out, I'm going to be able to use him in very specific content. He's not where I want him. I'm going to get his gear to 12 each piece. Yeah. Because this guy's important. He will be important later. There's a reason I was testing him also in Nether Spider. Was I'm trying to see how close is he to being strong enough to take on the Nightmare. Because trust me, he has a Nightmare to deal with. Okay, first things first. I've got to go... Let's run him through the campaign. Let's start with... Felwyn's Gate. Get some silver, get some XP. Oh, what am I talking about? No. I'm not being spicy enough. We're gonna go straight into a stage of Nightmare. There's a wood painted in there. I don't know, man. Let's give it a go anyway. It's gonna be painful either way. No point having it on auto. These 4 Valks is gonna be an absolute rubbish show. Just saying. Because then I have to kill each Valk individually. Thankfully, it seems like my Coffin Smasher is coming of age. There's a reason I want to progress in Nightmare, by the way, before you're like, Vabersmith, that's dumb. Why do you want to progress in Nightmare? I want to see where this ends up. And I don't care if I have to use Paragon to do it. Because I have a developed Paragon, and I might as well use them somewhere weird in the mind. If I have to Paragon the whole thing out, because I want to beat Nightmare. I've never done it before, and I might as well go for it. Because I need to stop being boring. Because avoiding Nightmare Campaign is boring if you have it unlocked. I don't want to be boring. I'm boring enough trying to level a Coffin Smasher. Even though Coffin Smasher is exactly what I need. If I have to use Brutal Campaign off screen to level him, so be it. I'm deadly serious when I say I'm going to get this Coffin Smasher to 60, whether you see how it's done or not. Because I do not. I mean it when I say I want to be able to clear the Doom Tower, and the only real way that I'm going to be able to do it is by investing in Coffin Smasher at this point. Because I don't have any other really big ticket Doom Tower clear champs for clearing specifically Griffin. Griffin is probably my worst problem, is Griffin. Because Griffin, most of my champs get whittled out and wrecked by Griffin. So that's why I am trying to invest in the champ I know can deal with Griffin. So that's why I'm investing in Coffin Smasher. I'm going to be investing in his gear as well. Nightmare Campaign is very slow. So just bear with me on that. It's not quick. It's not quick and it's not easy. And the higher you get in Nightmare Campaign, the worse these enemies get. I wanted to point that part out. There's a reason I'm focusing him personally. Is because I know he has a buff that's obscenely annoying. There's a reason I brought Deacon in here in the first place, is to both control the wave, but to also keep their defense low. Because the last thing you need is their defense to be so sky high that you never get through them. That's the problem. In fact, just to illustrate how important it is to have defense down versus these, we'll revive the Deacon. Because you do not want their defense to be high. So as you can see, it's actually incredibly high. So defense down is one of the most important debuffs in all of Nightmare Campaign. Do not, and I repeat, do not go in here without defense down unless you truly want to suffer. You have to have some form of defense down. Unless you literally want to be here forever. Now, I know this is going to sound nasty, but I have to go for the Turvold first. Because if I don't go for the Turvold first, we are going to have some very serious problems. You want to constantly apply the decrease attack to him. Because you do not want... Next is the Woad Painted, because she has this very bad history, and I don't want her history to be a thing. As I've heard she's good now, and I'm not happy either. Me and Hell Hades have that trait. And yes, I do watch Hell Hades on a regular basis. He is my most watched raid streamer in existence. Okay, at least she healed herself instead of... This is going to be painful to get through. Just letting you know. I think our main target just has to be the Valk. Because I don't think I want the Valk... I don't need the Valk having free time. Because while the Valk has free time, we are going to have issues. We do not want the Valk to have any free time. Trying to deal with Woad. There we go. Woad painted down. Alright. This is the final level before the boss. We get some Enos. Oh, not more Valks. Come on, man. Not more Valks. No. Huh. I have to try to take the Valks out one at a time. They're one of those champs. You don't want to leave them alive. Last one is the marked. There we go. Compress the turns. Yeah, there's no real fast way through here unless you're you have endgame gear and stuff. Like ignore defense, nukes, and you really have a nice setup. I mean, there is a way, like one of the best ways through here actually is Gaius, but I didn't manage to get him. It's one of the best ways. I'm mainly using this as an XP boost for my Coffin Smasher. I could have just done this as a 3-man team, but I'm gonna have my Coffin Smasher here. Because I want to give him a place where he can get more XP. Perfect. Next is the boss. Stage 9-7 Nightmare. Let's go. Let's see if we can clear this bad boy out. There's a reason I'm doing that. I am actually quite afraid of this, of that guy. Why? Because if I don't have him dealt with, he's going to literally rip my team asunder. Which is the last thing I really want to happen. Keeping his decreased defense is important if you can. Although, Madame Saris could do wonders in this whole area due to her ability to strip buffs. And mess with buffs. Keeping their defense low is paramount, because otherwise you will be here all day. Like, I am not joking. You will be here all day if you don't keep their defense low. Like, look how little damage they take from almost everything. Now, eventually it will get to the point where I will end up having to use Paragon, which is, I'm pretty sure, against the final boss. But I will do it. I'll do it when I need to. So far, I don't 100% need to, but when I need to, I will go for it. Because I know that the final boss of this is probably extremely cheap. Because, like, I would, like, put someone in there to nuke the waves. And then getting to the boss is proving to be a problem. I'm just going to take out the people that I think is easier to do. If it at all possible, I think I want to wipe them out at once. Oh no. Please compress the turn meters. Please. Thank you. I don't need that guy coming back from the dead. I mean, that lady coming back from the dead again. For how many umpteen million times it's going to come back from the dead. Do not need that. I've had enough experience with that. And granted, we'll probably be running into something like that, forcing me to literally get an Armiger in here. Literally. I'm not joking. Somewhere in here, there's going to be a revive spammer. Alright, we've made it to the boss. Get some burns on him. Try to get a leech. Get a decreased attack if I can. Can we get a decreased defense? Yes, that's exactly what we want. Decreased defense. Do not ever undervalue that buff. Because this buff, that debuff of decreased defense is literally the only thing that's stopping the dragon from being an absolute menace. Because otherwise, we're going to be here a very long time. Not something I necessarily want to do. Good. I'm not saying it's not impossible to do it without decreased attack. It's just, in decreased defense, it's just preferred. Although decreased attack may be necessary later. So yeah, we're slowly chipping our way into Nightmare. We're chipping our way through this boss. Slow and steady. Keeping it consistent. Keeping his attack down. Keeping his defense down. Keeping the leech up. Making progress. There's a reason I try to aim for keeping the decreased attack down, because I'm pretty sure his attack is overpowered, as is his defense. Probably even more so than his health pool. Yeah, so we keep his attack down. Slowly we get Coffin Smasher up to par. Come on. Do it. Swear to God. There we go. Got his attack down. There we go. Dragon down. I'll take it. $1.5 million silver. Godfrey's is next. In the next episode. I'll see you all then.